The architecture of anxiety. The prediction trap. If your brain were a person, you would have fired them years ago. Think about it. They lie to you. They keep you awake at 3 a.m. for no reason. They invent problems that don't exist, and then they charge you your entire sanity to solve them. If this were anyone else, you'd call the police. But because that voice is inside your head, you call it me. You are being held hostage by a bodyguard who's forgotten the war is over. Your brain doesn't care if you're happy. It only cares that you aren't dead. It would rather you be safely miserable than uncertainly happy. Because to your biology, a known sadness is safer than an unknown joy. You call it I call it the most expensive insurance scam in human history. Chapter 1. The smoke detector error. Nature is an accountant, and it decided long ago that your happiness is a luxury it can't afford. Imagine you have a smoke detector in your kitchen. It's designed to save your life, but it's calibrated too high. It doesn't just scream when the house is on fire. It screams when you toast bread. It screams when you light a candle. Your brain is that smoke detector. 50,000 years ago, the smoke was a tiger. Today, the smoke is an email from your boss that says, "Do you have a minute?" Your brain screams, "House is on fire. Evacuate." Everyone hates you. It's not a glitch. It's a high insurance premium. Nature decided it is cheaper for you to have 1,000 false alarms than to be dead once. You are paying for a disaster that isn't coming with the only currency that matters: your life. Chapter 2. The anatomy of AK. But here is where the bodyguard becomes a kidnapper. Your brain hates not knowing. It hates a data gap. Example, you send a long, thoughtful text to someone. You spend 10 minutes editing it. You were chill, but vulnerable. 5 hours pass. Then, the reply. In an instant, your brain goes into CSI mode. It doesn't see a letter. It sees a crime scene. Because it doesn't have data, it starts building a bridge across that void, using your deepest insecurities as the bricks. They're bored of me. I'm too much. They're talking to someone else. The reality, they were at a red light and had 3 seconds to reply. You've done this today. Maybe an hour ago. You just didn't call it overthinking. But your brain would rather invent a villain than admit it's just a letter. It would rather you be heartbroken and prepared than calm and surprised. There is a tax on your intelligence, and you're paying it every single night. The average human makes 35,000 choices a day. For you, every choice is a life or death simulation. Example, you're on a food app. You spend 45 minutes reading reviews because you're terrified of a bad taco. You are running NASA-level computing power for a $15 decision. You're simulating the disappointment, the wasted money, the wrong choice. By the time you pick the taco, you're too tired to eat it. How many decisions have you over-engineered today? Be honest. You aren't lazy. You are simulation weary. Your battery is at 1% because you lived 10 different versions of Tuesday before it even started. Chapter 4. The 4K remaster. And then there's the archive of shame. It's 2:14 a.m. You're trying to sleep. Suddenly, your brain decides to show you a movie. It's a 4K remaster of that weird thing you said in 7th grade. Why? Because your brain stores social pain in the same place it stores physical burns. It keeps that memory alive as a survival warning. It's saying, remember this pain, don't do it again, or the tribe will leave you in the snow. The truth, no one remembers. Everyone else is too busy lying awake in their own theater, watching their own mistakes. You are the only person in the audience of your shame. Everyone else has already gone home. In Chapter 5. Collapsing the loop. Overthinking feels like preparation, but it's actually avoidance. It's a bodyguard that is so afraid of you getting hurt that he locks you in a basement. He says, stay here in the dark. It's safe in the dark. But a bodyguard who keeps you in a cage is just a kidnapper in a suit. How do you break out? You introduce reality. The simulation only runs when you are standing still. The second you take action, the simulation collapses. Stop wondering if they're mad. Ask them. Stop rehearsing the failure. Do the work. Stop fearing the taco. Just eat it. New data only comes from doing. You cannot think your way into a new life. You have to act your way out of the old one. This isn't a theory. This is what your brain did while you were reading this. The final verdict. Your brain is a beautiful, ancient, paranoid machine. It's trying to save your life from a world that doesn't exist anymore. Thank it for the warning. Recognize the tiger for what it is. Just a rustle in the grass. Tomorrow, someone will text UK. Your brain will start building a disaster movie. Now, you know the system. The question is, will you watch the movie or close the app? But here's what they don't tell you about walking into the grass. What happens when the smoke detector finally learns to be quiet? It doesn't stop hearing the smoke. It just stops believing it deserves to set off the alarm. Next episode, Chapter 1. The Architecture of Shrinking. Why gifted people shrink themselves to be accepted.